I took a wrong turn that changed everything. And though I wish this was just another scary story to entertain you, it's the truth. A true horror story that has etched itself into my bones. I remember the night vividly, because it began so ordinary, so harmless, like thousands of nights before it. The air was damp, and mist rolled in waves across the blacktop road as I drove home after a long and exhausting day. My eyes were heavy, my body weak, but I was familiar with this route, or so I thought. It was late, so late, that the world felt abandoned, the sky a deep bruise of midnight, and the streetlights nothing more than hollow glows swallowed by fog. The hum of the tires was almost hypnotic when I reached a fork in the road, a fork that should not have been there, because I had never seen it before in all my years of driving this way. The left path stretched wide and safe, lit faintly by distant signs, but the right looked narrow, shrouded by twisted trees, a skeletal arch that beckoned like the open mouth of something waiting to consume me. My GPS froze, the blue dot shaking before vanishing into nothingness, and when I tried refreshing it, the signal was gone. I don't know why I chose the right turn. Maybe I was too tired to think. Maybe something in me was pulled toward it like a magnet. But as soon as my tires touched that broken path, I knew I had crossed into something unnatural. It wasn't just the sudden darkness that consumed me, it was the way the air shifted. Colder, thicker, as though I'd crossed an invisible threshold where it didn't belong. The road grew tighter, trees clawing at the sky and swallowing the stars, their branches scraping the edges of my car like skeletal fingers reaching for me. My headlights flickered, dimming and flaring like a candle in a draft, and I gripped the steering wheel until my knuckles turned white. Silence pressed in, so heavy I thought I could hear my own blood. I rolled down my window slightly to breathe, but the air outside was worse icy, carrying the scent of damp earth and something metallic, almost like rusted iron or blood. I swear, in that moment, I saw something at the edge of the woods. A figure, not moving, not swaying like a branch, but perfectly still. Its pale face catching the light just long enough to make my stomach twist. When the beam of my headlights touched it, it was gone, swallowed by shadow as though it had never existed. I told myself I was imagining it, that exhaustion was tricking my senses. But the wrong turn had already infected me with dread. I drove deeper, searching for a way out. But there were no signs, no houses, no proof that this road belonged to the world I knew. That's when the car coughed, sputtered, and died. My dashboard lights blacked out, the engine stilled, and I was left stranded in a silence so suffocating it pressed into my chest. I sat frozen, my breath fogging the inside of the glass, when I heard it the faintest whisper, as if spoken from the trees, brushing against my ear, though no one was there. It said only two words, soft but sharp: turn back. My body went cold, but when I grabbed my phone, desperate for lighter signal, the screen was empty, no service, no connection. Still, I used the flashlight and stepped out into the night, the dirt crunching under my shoes louder than I could bear. The temperature dropped with each step, the kind of cold that doesn't just bite your skin but gnaws its way into your bones. The forest loomed, a cathedral of shadows, and though I wanted to stay near the car, something inside me insisted I walk to find something, someone. Any proof of life. I walked along the crooked road until I found an old wooden sign, half-eaten by rot, letters barely visible under years of decay. I brushed away moss with trembling fingers and read the word burned into the wood. Welcome back. My heart stopped. Back I had never been here. The whisper returned. Not from the woods this time, but from inside me, curling through my skull like smoke. It repeated the same words. Turn back. Turn back. I stumbled, panic clawing at my throat, and spun around to return to the car. But every angle looked identical, every path strangled by trees. I swear the forest shifted, twisting itself so that I no longer knew which way I had come from. My flashlight flickered, and for a split second I saw them, dozens of them, pale and hollow-eyed, peering out from between the trees. They didn't move, didn't breathe, but their gaze was heavy, suffocating, rooting me to the spot. When the light blinked back, "Te were gone," and the silence pressed down again like a shroud. I ran then, branches snapping against my arms, my shoes slipping on damp leaves. My breath came ragged, each inhale slicing like glass, and the whispers chased me now, overlapping, layered voices that hissed and giggled and groaned. I made it back to the car, slammed the door shut, heart hammering against my ribs. My keys trembled in my hand as I tried to start the engine. But before I could even twist them, the engine roared to life on its own. The dashboard lights flared, the radio static screamed, and through the static came words. "We've been waiting." I screamed, slammed the car into gear, and tore down the road. Trees blurred, shadows bent, and the road twisted on itself like a snake. But somehow, impossibly, I burst through the darkness and back onto the familiar highway, headlights from another car shining relief into my eyes. For a moment, I thought I was safe, that I had escaped, but then I saw the clock on my dashboard. Hours had passed, yet it had only felt like minutes. My fuel gauge was still full, as if I had never driven at all. My phone buzzed then, and with trembling hands I opened it. My gallery had a new photo. I hadn't taken it. It showed me, sitting in the driver's seat, eyes wide, mouth stretched in a smile that wasn't mine. The darkness behind me, alive with shapes I can't describe. I dropped the phone and nearly swerved off the road, choking on my breath. Since that night, nothing has been the same. Shadows linger longer around me, even in crowded rooms. My reflection sometimes lags, as if it doesn't want to move when I do. I've tried to convince myself that exhaustion, fear, or tricks of the mind played a role, but the evidence remains the photo, the memory, the way my bones ache with a cold that never fully leaves. Every wrong turn on a map terrifies me now. Every detour on a trip makes my blood run thin. I can't trust roads anymore, because I know some roads don't lead to destinations. They lead to nightmares, places that exist between worlds, waiting for the exhausted, the distracted, the vulnerable. And if you're wondering whether you could make the same mistake, remember the wrong turn isn't always on a road. Sometimes it's in a choice, a glance, a door you decide to open. The moment you think is harmless but pulls you into something far darker than you can comprehend. I learned that the hard way. And if you're watching this, listening to my voice now, maybe you've already taken your own wrong turn. Maybe you've already been marked by the shadows I saw. All I can tell you is this. If you ever hear whispers in the dark telling you to turn back, listen to, because if you don't, you might never find your way home again. If you believe the story ends here, you're mistaken. The road doesn't release its prey. So somewhere out there, someone is about to take that same wrong turn. It could be you. It could be tonight. And you won't even know until it's too late. If you dare to go further, if you want to see what waits just beyond this nightmare, follow me into the next story. But remember, every click brings you closer to the place that's been waiting for you all along.